Johnny, are you ready? Not yet? Okay. All right. All right, everyone, just if you could take your seats as we transition here. We got Pastor Dakota joining us online. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Can you hear us? Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Can you hear us? He said Pastor Dakota said yeah. He said he can hear us. Okay. There you are. All right, we're gonna switch the camera around to. All right, go ahead, Pastor Dakota.
You guys can hear me then? Okay. I'll take the waves as a yes. If you can hear me, I can see 3 people, which is nice. There you guys are. Hey, oh, look at that. Well, hey guys, would be really nice to be there with you. Loved the worship today. Loved the message from Pastor Jerry. Would really love to, like I said, be there with you, but we will make do with the capabilities that we have. I'm back to just seeing me on this screen now, so I'm not sure if that's purposeful or I don't see anybody anymore.
You're still here.
Okay. Yeah, so wanted to jump on. It'd be nice if I could see people instead of me, but maybe that's just not possible.
We're working on it.
Okay. The technology. Well, it looks like you guys had a great Sunday, and obviously pulling me in on a live video Zoom. Just wanting to take a moment to talk with everybody about some new things happening. And so, first thing I will say is just thank you guys for hanging back to spend a few minutes here. I will just share with you that over the last couple of years, we have been discerning as a church and a leadership various aspects of what the Lord wants to do with the church, the city of Ridgecrest. Our ministry there, Monica and I, have been serving the body of Christ in the city of Ridgecrest for almost just about 8 years or more, pretty consistently the last 8 years, and then a couple of years before that. So the last 10, 11 years of our life has been committed to the city of Ridgecrest, and that's been such a great assignment from the Lord. And we want to continue doing that. Now, it will look different in the season ahead. And so that's what I want to share a little bit, as we have been discerning over the last couple of years a wide range of things, considering the church as well as the refuge. And how do we continue to lead these two organizations in a way that they are most successful in their unique missions to the city of Ridgecrest? And so, in exploring that, and in the new season of planting Believers Church, and us leaning into what the Lord has been speaking to us over the last 5 months or so, we really felt like and thought that the church in Ridgecrest was going to be a Believers Church campus, and that we would continue this multi-site effort, and that was something that the Lord was doing, and we believe God was involved in all these things, and we are very much still working on Believers Church here in Charleston and some other campuses. But through a number of things that have come up in the last few weeks, myself, the local leadership, the other pastors, as well as some vineyard leadership, as well as Apostle David, have all sort of come to the same conclusion, this unified conclusion, that it makes most sense to make some pretty significant changes in the days ahead. And what those changes would look like is approaching the church and the refuge as two separate organizations, which they always have been, but they have operated really closely together. And so we want to be able to serve the mission and the mandate and calling of both of those organizations in a way that they have the best opportunity at succeeding those individual missions. With the church being a mission of winning families, winning the city with the gospel, seeing families and the next generation rise up, and just seeing salvations, and the refuge, carrying similar components, but having a very specific mandate to see the eradication of addiction from people's lives. And so, in the days ahead, we're going to, see more of a separation of those two entities, still loving each other, still complementing each other, still, collaborating, partnering, working together, but, independently operated, with each having its sole leadership, its sole location, and that sort of thing. And so, that being said, we also, through a series of events and circumstances, feel that it is best for the church to remain a vineyard church. So the church, the idea of the Ridgecrest Vineyard Church started in 2013 with a small group gathering in the Gamboa's home, and I was there, and a handful of other people, and we just continued to carry this torch of the Vineyard Church in Ridgecrest, and that's looked different through the last 10, almost 11 years. But one thing's remained is that it has been a vineyard church. It was established as a vineyard church. And we just, through a series of events, have come to a conclusion that is what's best, and that is, what's wisdom, and that is the leading of God to keep the church as a vineyard church. And so, that being said, with the idea of the church staying with Vineyard, the idea of separating the refuge and the church into two separate entities, Monica and I, and working with the Believers Church team, continuing to work on church plants, and our proximity to Ridgecrest at the moment puts us here. We feel that it makes the most sense for us to install new lead pastors of the church, and to install new leadership, and that leadership, and that is the basic structure of the same leadership you have right now, with us being gone, and Pastor Jerry, the Gamboas, serving as campus pastors. Their role will shift in that they would be the primary leaders of the church there, the Vineyard Church, be the lead pastors, and we would have some support from Vineyard USA, a man named Mike Safford, who leads an amazing church in Tehachapi, just right down the road of Vineyard Church. He's also the regional pastor of Vineyard Churches in California and oversees many churches. He will be coming alongside the church to continue to support the next season of the church's life, to see the church, grow into greater success in the city of Ridgecrest. And so we believe that God is up to something really special. And we're very excited to continue to serve the body of Christ and to serve the city of Ridgecrest. Primarily, Monica and I and my efforts will be through the refuge moving forward. And so very, very excited about that opportunity, and also allowing the church to continue to thrive and grow in the body of Christ to serve Ridgecrest. So just super excited about that. It's a little bit challenging to try to articulate some of these things right now through this platform, but we wanted to not let that linger, knowing that we have a new direction. We didn't want that to linger congregationally. Want to be transparent with that, want to be open, and want to share that with you all as we're moving forward. So what that doesn't mean is, it doesn't mean that there's any form of like division. It doesn't mean that we are against what's happening in Ridgecrest. It doesn't mean that our hearts are not with the church there in Ridgecrest. We very much are. We will still frequently be in town working with the refuge leadership. We will still be attending church there with you all. When we come in town, we want to come and see people and just love on you guys and be loved on. We want to continue to have great connection that way. And we're working with the local team there to talk about ways, even though that specific church is going to stay with Vineyard and remain a Vineyard church, and we're building a movement called Believers Church Movement, doesn't mean that the relational connection's not still there. And we wanted to create conversation around what does it look like to still be in relationship with leaders and to be in relationship with one another. Most of our leadership team, most of our pastors are people that we've been growing with and loving one another and in relationship with for 5, 6, some of us 10, 11 years. And so that's not going anywhere. And I want to just make that very clear that those relationships, that love for one another is very much still intact. Transition does happen. Transition of leadership within churches and leaders transitioning different roles within a church's history and life cycle is very common. We didn't expect this to happen quite this way, but God is in it, and we believe that. And so also we'll let you know that some of the current leadership of the refuge are also leaders within the church there. And so some of that will continue, where a couple of our key staff will still be involved with church life in the Vineyard, and then some of our staff will primarily be focused on the refuge. And so the Castanedas have been serving the refuge the last few years. Pastor Manny has really taken on that director role. And so as we begin to engage the refuge as what I would refer to as a community-based organization, the refuge would have a sense of neutrality in the city so that it can be of the most benefit to lives being changed and transformed in that city. And so when we think about those things separating out, it has nothing to do with anything bad. It has to do with making some hard decisions that we've been processing for a very long time, and something that we didn't know exactly how all that would kind of iron out, but here we are. And So Pastor Manny will continue to serve the refuge as our, primary on-site director. I'll continue to serve as a board member, a founder, a leader to carve out culture and life and structure of the refuge organization in the city of Ridgecrest, as well as Pastor Validia will still be serving on the staff and leadership team there. And there's still a couple of others that, we're pending some conversations around what that looks like. But that's the gist of that. So transition is here, change is here, but change can be good. Everybody say change can be good.
Change can be good.
Okay. And we are saddened. Our hearts are going through all sorts of emotion, and there's a roller coaster ride of what that has been the last couple of weeks and processing all of this. But we have love and affection for the church. We have love and affection for the leaders. We have love and affection for the vineyard. We have love and affection for the Gamboas, all of the leadership, all of the church, all of the congregation in the city. And we just, bottom line, feel that, we need to make decisions in these transitions based upon what is most conducive for each organization to fulfill its mission and be successful in its mission in the city. And we think looking at these organizations the way that we are makes the most sense. So, so with all that being said, also want, like I said a few moments ago, that the Gamboas will be, stepping up, have been a part of the life of the church since the very beginning, have served the community, the city of Ridgecrest faithfully, unwaveringly, and have been very instrumental to the church's growth and sustainability and the life of the church. And we believe they're going to do a really amazing job and have God's grace on their life to carry the church into the next season. And we will continue to be present in the city working on the refuge. And so that those frequent pop-ins every
Sorry about that, guys. The computer crashed. I'll do. So I apologize. The computer crashed there. That's really unfortunate. So just a quick recap of what Pastor Dakota was sharing, and we'll try to get him back up online here because some of you might have questions that directly for him. If we're not able to get it on, then I'll do my best to answer any questions you have. But the quick recap here is that we're going to continue serving this community. However, we're going to look at the refuge is going to operate independently of the church so that the refuge can engage the rest of the community, other churches, other organizations more effectively. One of the things that we've noticed as we've been ministering over the last 6 years with the refuge, one of the things we noticed is that, for instance, there's another church that another church may have someone that needs recovery ministry, but they feel maybe hesitant to send them to the refuge because then they're like, hey, that's not my church, right? And this allows church neutrality and still partnership with the refuge. The other thing we notice is is a sort of a side effect of how we've been hosting things. Imagine a family that comes to this church, and they need to, the husband or wife need to be in the refuge, but due to like some legal restrictions, like a restraining order or that kind of stuff, now they can't both be in the church and so now someone can, that just happens, right? And we know that was happening. Both be in the church. Because now someone can, that just happens, right? And we know that was happening. Yeah, I know. Should I stop, John? Keep going. Okay, so I apologize about that. Now, so we really believe that this approach, first of all, it was something that God was already giving Pastor Dakota a few weeks back, and really processing it's like, hey, this is God's will, and so it's as hard as it is for us to process this. We are looking at this for very hopeful. We'll continue to be partners with Refuge as a church. I believe that this church in particular is uniquely gifted and equipped to serve our community, especially those that are in addiction, because of the equipping that we have, the calling that we have. And so we're going to continue to move in that, but also give an opportunity for the Refuge, like Pastor and leaders like Pastor Manny, to engage other churches. Right? We want to be able to expand the kingdom and multiply. The other thing is that we want to multiply the Refuge not only in this community, but in other communities. And we have found out that when we try to work with just one church in other communities to host a Refuge, they couldn't do it. You have to be kind of crazy like us. There's not that many crazy people out there. So welcome to the club. So we realized that if we could model this here, now we can now take it to other communities, partner with other churches in other cities, and multiply Refuge ministries across the country. And so that's been our heart, and we're trying to see how God's shaping that for us, leading Pastor Dakota, Pastor Monica, and the team for this. And so, this has been the direction we're going, and God's been leading us in this way. And so, I just for some history, right? I was there when we first started the first Refuge home, and all we needed was just a space, and Pastor Dakota offered that space. I was one of the first RAs, resident advisors, one of the first people that went in, and if there's some issue, went in there, and then over time we got Pastor Validia helping us out with the women. It was really interesting, right? Like I didn't come from a place of addiction, and I realized that the ministry that we had was that we got to come alongside people and got to love them without expecting anything in return. And one of the greatest compliment I've heard from someone in the Refuge was that you couldn't tell that they were in the Refuge because they fit right in. They were assimilated, they were fit right in, they were family. That was one of the greatest compliments you can give someone, is that they no longer identify as an addict, because I never saw them that way. I saw them as people ravaged by addiction. I separated the two. And sometimes people will say only an addict can help an addict, and I say, you know what? It's the kingdom it's kingdom people, regardless of your background, that can help you. And that's what we get to do. We get to come alongside people and get to love them without any conditions, without any pretense of expecting anything in return. And that's just sometimes you get these really cool outcomes. Like you get a Michael Birch. I love seeing Michael Birch and his family and his 2 kids and his wife, Rebecca, right? That's really cool, right? Pastor Russell, if you got to know Pastor Russell, we get to see people like Pastor Russell emerge. And I think, one of the things I am convinced and convicted of is that, people that are if you will, graduating from the Refuge are that new humanity, new Christianity. They're bringing something new to the body of Christ. And it's really cool to see that happen. Every time I come into this church and I come alongside graduates of the Refuge, people still in the Refuge, the ministry team that's supporting the Refuge, I come alongside and say, hey, there's something new happening here. A new humanity, a new breed of Christian, of believer, a follower of Christ, a disciple, right, is coming into the body of Christ. So I'll pause there. I don't know if anything's up there, but did someone have a question that maybe I can try to answer? There he is, Pastor Dakota, you're back. Can you hear us?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you guys.
So just kind of sharing a little bit about, some different perspectives on, the Refuge operating independently from this local church.
Yeah, I was able to hear everything. I just pulled it on the Facebook, so all good. Yeah, was there Yeah, and when that cut, I was pretty much there, I think, on, sharing what I needed to share for now. Also just letting people know I will be out there in just a couple of weeks during Thanksgiving, and coming in on Sunday to share a little bit more in person, and spend time there and take some next steps. But again, we just wanted to at least bring things current. So yeah, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm here.
Jillian? Sure.
This is kind of a super practical question. If we were giving to the refuge program by the QR code that was on the screen here, do we change that, or do we continue to give to that? Like, is it separated monetarily from like tithes and offerings?
So I think that refuge giving through that QR code and link was linked to the church. So yeah, we'll probably create some new giving platforms.
And I'll answer this in addition to that. We'll still receive offerings on behalf of the refuge and then send them out to the refuge, on a monthly basis. So, because I know people are going to give it regardless, right? And so we want to be able to still honor that and bless the refuge. Yep. Any other questions? Pretty straightforward. No other questions here, Pastor Dakota.
All right. Well, bless you all. Love you guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. And like I said, just keep in mind, we'll frequently be there and be working with Pastor Jerry on just staying connected along the way. And when we're there, to check in at the church. And if there's people who still want to serve and be a part of Refuge, then myself and the team there will continue to create opportunities for that. And so love you all. Very excited about what God is doing in the kingdom, and we will continue to grow together and see how the Lord unravels the story from here.
All right, Pastor, could we have a video from Apostle David we're going to try to play? Is that right, Johnny?
Awesome.
All right, we're going to try to do that. Just give us a second. So Apostle David had a video that he wanted to share a message for us.
Good morning, Ridgecrest Vineyard. This is Apostle David speaking to you all the way from Hawaii. And I just wanted to come on this morning to encourage you as a church family. What an amazing, exciting transition all of you are in. And transitions come. And in life, we've got to be moldable. We've got to be ready to be able to position ourselves in those new areas of responsibility. And I'm so excited, because I know there's growth, there's investment that's been made, there's great legacy, and it's so good to see what God will do through all of you together. See, this is the key word, is the word together. When Nehemiah came to Jerusalem, he applied language that brought everybody into unity. Everybody came into a place of agreement, and they could build the wall of Jerusalem. And so I just want to speak right into the heartbeat of the house this morning to say your value in Ridgecrest Vineyard Church is the fact that you have great legacy. Use that legacy to build with. Use that legacy to form greater covenants and relationships. Use that legacy to ultimately touch the city. So bless you. We love you. So proud of what you guys are all doing in Ridgecrest. God bless you.
Are you live there, Pastor D?
Yes. Very good. Well, bless you all, and thanks for hanging back and getting some update here, and we will continue to move forward together in the kingdom. So love you all. We'll see you soon.
Love you.
See you guys.